Hello everyone, welcome back. Red Devils Talk, me your host, and you must have seen it. The here we go has been given by Fabrizio. David Ornstein has also said it. Rasmus Hojlund will be a Manchester United player. We finally have a striker. I know we have Martial, and I know Rashford can play there from time to time, but we have a striker, an out and out number 9. The player that I wanted us to get in mostly this entire transfer window. I know we needed a goalkeeper after De Gea left, and we definitely do need another midfielder. And we'll speak about Sofian Amrabat later on in the video. And of course, we're also playing Dortmund in our last game in America, our last preseason friendly. I'll definitely be speaking about that as well in today's video. But it's mostly about Rasmus Hojlund. And finally, his dream has come true. He will be a Manchester United player. We will be seeing him at Old Trafford. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Drop a like, hit the notification bell so you know exactly when I do upload videos. We talk all things Manchester United. So let's get into it. Rasmus Hojlund. Finally, as I said, we have a striker. It was a bit of a touch and go in this last week with PSG coming in for an offer late. And we thought to ourselves, are we going to lose out? A striker that Ten Hag wants and a player that wants to come to Manchester United. But a couple days later, we put in an offer of 70 million euros plus 10 million in add-ons. Pushes it up quite high. And yes, it is a bit of an overprice on a 20-year-old, an unproven striker in the Premier League. Only scored 9 goals in 20 starts. Everything that you can put onto it to put extra pressure and to make it more negative is there. But the main aspect is we have a raw talent. A player who has shown his qualities, not just for his club Atalanta, but also for his country in Denmark. Eriksen has spoken highly of him. His coach of Denmark has spoken highly of him. And even the Italian media has spoken about how good Rasmus Hojlund is and can be. Now, of course, there will be people who are negative. They will say that he's overpriced, he's going to be a flop, he's not going to be a good player for us, he's not Haaland, he's not going to score lots of goals, he's going to be a bad player. That's obvious. With every player that Manchester United signs, there will always be haters. But the way we've moved in this transfer window has been pure class. We got Mason Mount in, which was a priority target for Ten Hag. We got in Onana immediately after De Gea left. And we then moved on to Rasmus Hojlund, which we knew was the target for the number 9 position. And we got him. Now, the price is simply not Hojlund's fault. And the price is not Ten Hag's fault. But we have to acknowledge that we have a player of potential world-class quality. A player that will come in and completely be that final piece of the puzzle. Maybe not this season exactly, but he will offer us so much in the pitch for the team with the way he will hold up the ball, with the way he will run in behind into the channels, with the way he will occupy the defenders, with the way he will open up space and link up the play with the forwards and the midfielders. And he is a complete penalty box, shall I say, fox in the box. He is very, very good inside the box, similar to a Cavani, but also a physical presence to cause an absolute threat and also to, shall I say, bully a few defenders, if not all. Now, we know, as I said, he's 20 years old, and there is a lot that will be expected of him. But we have to be wary and mindful of the fact that he is young, that he is a raw talent, as I said, and he will be coached by Ten Hag, who has proven to coach young players into world-class players. So it will take time. And if later on in the window there is maybe a slight chance that we go for a Harry Kane or a more experienced striker, then that will be a very good transfer window. I spoke about Sofian Amrabat, and it has been said by Fabrizio as well and Alfredo Padula that he is the next target, and us going for him is all but guaranteed. He is the next midfielder, he is the next target that Ten Hag wants, and he is a defensive but also attacking number 8 box-to-box type of midfielder. More defensive, and as I said, a player that can come in and cover for Casemiro and play alongside him in the much bigger games when they need a bit more, shall I say, midfield defense stability. Sorry. I actually came up with a new word there, defensibility. That sounds quite cool. Nevertheless, so it is important to note that, yes, even though Amrabat is the next target, the likes of Fred, Donny, Maguire, McTominay are all up for sale. And Galatasaray are close to getting a deal done for Fred. Donny van de Beek is wanted by Real Sociedad and seems the more favourites to sign him. And of course, Maguire and McTominay are being pursued by West Ham. And should Fred or McTominay leave, that will then leave the door open for us to bring in Sofyan Amrabat officially. So it has been reported that Amrabat is keen on the move to Manchester United, and that is reported by Fabrizio. So calm, a good transfer window can potentially be a very good transfer window should we get Amrabat in as well, because that would be Mount, Onana, Hojlund and Amrabat. And if we get a centre back in as well, I mean, the word name of Axel Disasi comes to mind, who is the target for the centre-back position. But that's dependent on Maguire leaving, which we all hope, in my opinion, that does come to fruition. But Hojlund, what a player. A player that will be, in my opinion, as I said, the final piece of the puzzle. He's going to come in and definitely score goals, and will score those goals that we cannot seem to get. He's going to be the player that will help us break down a team that puts in a low block, that decides to sit back and defend for the entire 90 minutes. He will surely ruffle the feathers of the defenders, make those movements to allow space for others to come into, the likes of Mount and Bruno, who definitely have an eye for a goal and can manipulate and find that space and definitely punish a team who might leave an open space for them to attack. So there is a lot of prospect involved with Hojlund, and there will come games where he won't start. That is expected, and we have to be prepared for that. But we also have to know that Ten Hag is nurturing him, coaching him, and easing him into the team so that he can be part of the team on a consistent basis for the long term. Previously, we've bought players like Zlatan, Cavani, we even bought Falcao at one stage, etc. More recently, Odion Igalo, even Wout Weghorst. These are players who, one, were past their prime and past their point of actually being a quality player, and two, who simply were not good enough for a long term in terms of what Ten Hag wanted. Even Ronaldo was, as great as he is, one of the greatest footballers of all time, simply was not good enough with the way Ten Hag wanted to take the team and where he wanted to go with this Manchester United that he is building. So far, the players that he's brought in only wanted to come to Manchester United, and that in itself is something that is absolutely quality. Mount only wanted United, Onana only wanted United, and Hojlund is quite similar, if not better, by claiming and saying publicly that he wants to play for Manchester United. So the fact that there is a drive and a commitment and a passion to play for the club is even more better for the fact that will definitely help the team spirit grow and help the team actually perform better when they definitely need to dig into their heels and get a result. So we are playing Dortmund, as I said, our final preseason game in the America, and it is a game where you probably will expect a strong team because it's getting closer to the season, 2 weeks to go until that first game against Wolves, and you will start seeing now the way Ten Hag actually wants the team to look like, the strongest starting 11. And I'm sure that Ten Hag will probably have an eye on, the weekend's games, against Bilbao and RC Lens. And of course, he will have an eye on wanting to have a team that is used to each other, but also a team that can perhaps be of a second choice. Because there is quite a fair idea of who the first 11 will be. Onana, Shaw, Martinez, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro. Potentially, if you play at Old Trafford, it will be Mount and Bruno. And of course, a Rashford, Hojlund, and Anthony on the right-hand side. However, if we play in a different way, and let's potentially say we get in Amrabat, he would probably go next to Casemiro. It comes down to the way Ten Hag wants to play. Does he go all out in terms of wanting to hold possession against a team like Dortmund who are good on the counter-attack? Or do we go on the counter attack and soak up a bit of pressure, try and press them high, and counter press and then transition into scoring goals? Now, we obviously won't have Hojlund available for this game, and potentially if his move gets officially completed in this coming week, then we might see him play against Lens and Atletico Bilbao, and of course later on, of course, the first Premier League game of the season against Wolves. So we need to be mindful of the fact that we are a team that struggles to score goals. Hence the reason why I think the club went to go and get the deal done for Hojlund as soon as they could, because Ten Hag probably said, hey, listen, we don't have a striker. I need a striker. We're 2 weeks away from the season and we need the players to come in so that they can integrate well and start building some patterns. So I think he lit a fire under John Murta and Richard Arnold, etc. And that spurred them on to go and get the deal done. Of course, we overpaid. That is not something that is new. Our negotiators are not good and clearly have shown in previous transfers that they certainly don't have a lot of negotiating power. So we can for sure expect a game where we know we would want to win. We know we're going to create chances, but whether we will be clinical will definitely be key to see. And also the way we are going to play in terms of when we have the ball in possession. As we know, Onana at the back has helped us play out from the back and will help us throughout the season. But for that to progress, more game time will be needed to be given to a consistent team of players, considering, like I said, the back four with Onana being consistent in order for us to play out from the back without fear and with greater comfortability. So that, in my opinion, is all that we need to look at for the Dortmund game. And the Dortmund game will be fun to look at. It is in Las Vegas, so it's going to be a nice game to watch, most definitely. But the main story, Rasmus Hojlund, here we go, will be a Manchester United player. We have a number 9. I'm so excited for him and for when he does play his first game and games for Manchester United. But subscribe to the channel, drop a like and hit the notification bell, please, and thank you.